This is Chris Prawdzik with Cage Side Press. Today I have Mackenzie Dern, who takes on Tecia Torres at UFC 273 in Jacksonville, Florida. Mackenzie, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Chris. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited for my fight, April 9th. It's coming up, I think, about like 5 weeks, more or less, so I'm
Yep.
excited. Yeah, it'll be good.
Awesome, awesome. Do you have a nice weekend?
Yeah, it's going good. Now it's like when camp is going hard, the
Yep.
weekends it's just like try to recover as much as you can for the next week ahead of you. So just totally relax, try to let my body recover. Um, and yeah, just kind of reflect everything I did on the last week, all the good things, and try to correct all the things I want to keep getting better. It's crazy. Like this camp is usually my camps are so like I don't know, kind of like a little bit okay, how I want to beat the person, what's the game plan, what's this, what's that. And this
Mhm.
camp is just I've been working so much. Like I haven't even looked at any of Tisha's fights yet. I haven't started any of that kind of planning for her. I'm just training and getting myself better, and just like kind of really correcting Mackenzie as a fighter. So I'm really excited for what I can bring out in this fight, and I think I'm gonna come. I mean, my last fight, the loss was really really good for me. It really helped me to correct a lot of things and see what I need to get better. So I've really just been focused on that, just getting myself better as a fighter.
And speaking with that last fight, I've read a lot that I think you've even mentioned it before, that loss kind of, you've learned the most from that loss than anything else. And that was, you were really happy to almost have that and kind of learn from it. What's like if you could take away one thing that you learned from it, just if you could say the most impactful thing, what do you think that would be? Is that something that you,
Um, I mean, I think patience, just have like patience. I'm a very like emotional fighter, so you can kind of see like kind of like for example, I saw Marina fight young China just like yesterday,
yeah, yep,
and I like kind of saw how young China wasn't like trying to go after her so much, kind of brought her in a little bit, and that's kind of something that I've always had a lot of trouble with, just I'm always kind of running after the people and kind of chasing them all the time, and you get frustrated because maybe they'll hit you with like one punch, maybe it's not that much, but I want to like hit them back, and so you just kind of not fall into traps, but you start playing games with your own mind when you're just trying to catch up and trying to catch the person and instead of just like, okay, staying in the middle of the ring and the cage and like having them come to you. I'm always thinking like, oh, I want to be an entertaining fighter. Like sometimes when you're not going after the person, you feel like maybe you're boring to watch or something like that. But, I mean, sooner or later, the person needs to come to you to fight too. So
yeah.
I think just patience all around, like in the fight. I think I was kind of like on this a really good roll, and I was like, it was my fourth win. It was my fourth win. I would have been to 5 wins. Oh no, it was my third. I would have gone to 4 wins. So maybe I would have gone to the belt after that. So I think I'm not in a rush. Just kind of pull back a little bit. I'm not in a rush to get to the belt. Kind of just take my time. I definitely don't want to like go and try and fight for the title. Of course, I could lose, but I want to go and fight for the title and be ready. So I think like, okay, don't try to get ahead of yourself and think like, oh, I need to win this to go to the belt. Like, no, take each
Right.
fight at a time and just be patient and enjoy the process. I'm 28 years old, so I'm still good. I already have a daughter, so that's kind of already out of the way. And yeah, I'm just enjoying the process right now.
So now I know. And speaking of your daughter, is she going to be in attendance for the fight, or has she been in attendance before when you fought like at the Apex or anything?
Yeah, she's been at almost like my first loss with Amanda Ribas. She was there. It was still like before the COVID.
Okay.
Then I had two fights during COVID that she didn't go, and then everyone else, every other fight after that, she's been there. So yeah, she's there at the Apex. I could hear her like, "Let's go, mom," in Portuguese and stuff like that. So she'll be there. She'll be there in Jacksonville too. So I'm happy to be back in front of a crowd. It'll be good.
Awesome. So is she like into rolling yet? Like, are you doing any kind of jujitsu with her yet, or?
Yeah, I mean it's hard. She wants to do it with like she wants to like play fight, with all the kids, like all her friends, but not in the academy, like
Right.
on the regular street, like her friends outside. So not all the kids are used to like that contact and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
So
Right.
it's hard to like kind of guide her a little bit and, no, you can't do that. But then she sees me at training and everyone's like, yeah, good, punch in the face, and like,
Right.
supporting when I do something like that, So it's very like, just kind of teaching her like, okay, the academy is you can do that here, but out here you can, and just kind of teaching that. But she totally likes it, Before she wanted to be a fighter, now her dad, my husband, he's a professional surfer, and now she doesn't want to be a fighter, she wants to be a surfer now. So I'm happy about that for sure. I don't want to see my daughter get punched in the face. Now I know what my parents go through when they see me get punched in the face, But I think if she decides to be a surfer, go travel the world, go have fun, be in the beach and the sun, I think that would be a less painful career for her.
I just got a visual in my head. Is all the kids are playing at the house and they're playing nice, and then your child rolls in there and ankle picks a kid. It's just
like
funny.
But jumps on the back, and like like kids don't know like to tap or things like that. Just in the gym that they already learned that, but other kids like at school and stuff, they don't know that when it hurts you tap or something. So she's like waiting for them to tap and like you're choking. I'm like, oh my god.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's not, but it's cool. So, last fight you had was in October. You've had a little time off in between. Have you got a chance to do any kind of vacations or do anything fun? Any family stuff?
I mean, I guess my family stuff is being with my family, during camps and stuff. I'm not that much time with them, I'm like at the gym most of the day. So I really just kind of took advantage to be with my family, even though we were at home. But just being with them and doing stuff with them. So I definitely had some more family time. My coaches were always like, man, after the fights, I always like go travel and stuff like that, So after my loss, obviously, I couldn't go and travel. I had to be like focused and really just kind of reflect and everything. But I had like a surgery too, so I was just really recovering from the surgery the last couple months. So yeah, just really more relaxed and stay at home and not get too like, I don't know, side tracks,
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I know you used to compete a lot in jiu-jitsu. Is that something that, I mean, I don't know if you've competed at all in jiu-jitsu matches since kind of, taking on MMA fights and stuff like that. Is that something you're looking at doing maybe 5-10 years down the line? Is something that fuels you and you want to do in the future again?
For sure. Definitely. It's like, I left the jiu-jitsu world when I was kind of like really at my best moment, So it wasn't like, oh, I was, almost gonna retire from jiu-jitsu and then go into MMA. I left like, man, maybe I had like a good more, I don't know, 5 more years, at the top at jiu-jitsu, So it definitely was something like, it was hard for me to leave the jiu-jitsu scene at the moment I did, but I thought it was like a good moment to go to MMA. But definitely like I get offers all the time, super fights, stuff like that. I definitely like, oh, I want to, but then I get like an offer for a fight or something like that. So MMA is still my priority, but definitely I think if there's a right moment or maybe, as we get higher in the rankings, the fights, they don't come as often, you know what I mean? Right. So like when we were back in the ranks, you could have a fight every like 3 months, every 2 months. Now when you're like number 5, 4, 3, you have to kind of wait for the champion, wait for the second, third to fight. So, I mean, I think if there's a right opportunity, I'll definitely do it. And even if like when I retire from MMA, definitely I will go back to jiu-jitsu and do some jiu-jitsu tournaments, super fights, stuff like that. I love it. That's where I started. That's where my heart is, And yeah, it's always fun because jiu-jitsu is like always evolving, There's always like new positions and just always the new talent, the new generation are coming up with new styles and stuff like that. So it's definitely like something that I want to stay updated in and want to always keep my game sharp, especially in the MMA world.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just kind of talking about this training camp and, partners, you do anything different this training camp? What specific partners are you kind of working with? Is it kind of just, the normal kind of camp going through or?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said before, like this camp has been focused so much on just me working for myself, and getting myself better. So I haven't really trained too much for fighting Tecia, I mean, we kind of know a little bit. She's fast. She has like a little high volume, kind of like gets in, gets out, kind of moves a lot, So, I mean, it's a little bit similar to Marina, but shorter, a shorter opponent, so someone like kind of a little bit my size, and we'll be more in the same distance from each other. So really just trying to fix my own style. And my coach, he really made me work like kind of back on the basics, and I think my punches are getting a lot more effective. I think I'm getting better aim, and yeah, just like more effective. I'm not trying to like kill the person, and the punches, they're causing like not injuries, but like whatever, bloody nose or things like that, just from popping it, popping your punches. I'm like, oh, so you just like, you don't need to try and like show it, so much, or try and knock the person out. It's just the ones that you just touch them that actually causes, gets the knockout or things like that. So really just simplifying everything. This camp was really based on simplifying everything. I'm like kind of overthinker, I'm trying like perfectionist. So really, I think we kind of understood the best way to work together, like me, Coach Perillo. I have my strength trainer, Rogério Camus, who, works with Anderson Silva. He's down here helping me with my strength training. My dad, Mexon Diaz, he's helping me with my ground game. And yeah, I mean, the team's good. The camp's good. I do a lot of sparrings with Tabitha Ritchie, and I have another girl, Natalie. I don't know her last name, but Natalie, and she always helps me a lot too. She's kind of Muay Thai fighter, so giving me different styles. A lot of shorter girls, but I mean, the whole camp's been basically just Mackenzie getting better at my game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is the first fight, I believe, that you've had in front of a crowd since before COVID. So some fighters say, it's awesome. They want to fight in front of crowds. Some fighters say they prefer not to. Some doesn't matter to them. Do you have a preference?
I definitely like fighting in front of a crowd. I'm kind of like, I really grow. I grow with like the energy and like, the spotlight and stuff like that. I've always like performed better there. It was really unique and like different to be like at the Apex. I had 4 or 5 fights at the Apex during the COVID time. So I mean, I could hear my coaches. I could hear my opponent's coaches. So I mean, it was kind of like a sparring a little bit. I think like, for example, my last fight, the 5th round, man, I think if there's a crowd there, that could have maybe pulled out a little bit more heart, in me, because sometimes you kind of just gotta like not care about the technique and just, get to the person and just take them down. You know what I mean? So I think like little things like that, where the crowd really kind of brings that out of you, when you don't need to think about like technique or nothing like that. You just need to show more who has more heart. So I'm excited to have that back in the crowd. But I mean, it was different. It was unique to have be able to hear the coaches. Sometimes I'd be like, okay, I'm hearing her coach say to throw like the jab cross hook, and then I'd like see them do the jab cross hook. I'd like make them miss, but then I wouldn't react on it because I was just thinking about hearing that, you know what I mean? So a little bit, I don't know, I think could take away the concentration a little bit. I just kind of like to be like in my zone and let me like flow, you know what I mean? Let myself flow. I mean, we do sparrings all the time. I do almost like 3 sparrings a week. So, I don't want one more sparring, in the fight. I want to just like go like fight time, So I really want to see the difference between sparring and fight.
So, what's your goals for 2022? Do you have a certain amount of fights you want to do? Anything you want to accomplish this year? Anything you've sat down and thought about yet?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to try to get 3 fights in this year. I mean, I would like to maybe see to get like a short notice fight. I've always like thought about, okay, how would I do in a short notice fight? I think that will help me like kind of push me to stay in shape all year round, and like really, I think when I have that in my mind, like, okay, they could call me anytime. That would just make me be in the academy with a different mindset, because when you're not in camp, like you go to the gym, but you're still kind of like carrying the bag and you're working on stuff. But I think you can kind of get sidetracked a little bit, So I would like to see if I can get maybe a short notice fight, hopefully. But yeah, I think like 3 fights this year. That's my goal. And yeah, I don't know, maybe like fight in Fight Island sometime, or my coach, he doesn't really want to travel too much, but I was hoping to get on the card in Brazil, but then Brazil changed. So it was almost better that we weren't on that card, because then just being
Yeah.
changed and stuff like that. But I'm really excited. April 9th, I think it's going to be a great card.
Yeah.
Korean Zombie and Alex Volkanovski, yeah, and Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. So I think it'll be a good card, a good pay-per-view. So I'm excited.
Yeah, they just added Burns and Shemaev on that one too. So, I
Yes,
mean,
that one too.
the
So
whole card, I mean, from top to bottom, even to those deep prelims, it's a deep card.
yeah.
I mean, it's my early prediction for card of the year so far. I mean, just
Um,
so much talent on there.
yeah. I haven't even seen the full like release of the whole card. So
Yeah.
yeah, just from those 3 fights, I was like, man, it's gonna be a sick card. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So, what's your prediction against Tecia Torres on April 9th?
Man, I think it's gonna be a submission. I know she hasn't been. I don't think she's been like finished before. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm just I'm coming in like really, really strong for this fight. Strong, I mean, technique wise, I had my last fight was a loss. I know she's coming from three wins. So, um, yeah, I definitely don't want to make the same mistake that I did in my last fight. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm fighting Tecia now. So I think she's gonna be the one that I'm gonna kind of get this recovery and make sure I don't make the same mistake again and really come out strong in this fight. So, I think it's gonna be a submission. And I don't know. I think we'll be the first round too.
All right, first round submission. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So Mackenzie, I really appreciate your time today. Do you have any sponsors, teammates, anything like that you want to shout out? The floor is all yours.
No, I mean, I just want to thank everyone for all the support. My coaches, yeah, my teammates. I have so many, so they all know who they are. Everyone who's helping me day after day. My family, Bet Online, Bet Motion in Brazil. So thank you everyone for all the support. And yeah, let's do it April 9th.